We've seen several state elections. When you win, we have statements coming in from leaders, including the Prime Minister, who said after the Karnataka win, Rahul took a leading role in campaigning and worked hard. I congratulate the Congress workers of Karnataka. Salman Khurshid said, I would like to thank the people of Karnataka for voting the Congress party and for Rahul Gandhi for leading the party to victory in this BJP-ruled state. But when it comes to defeats, especially the UP defeat, we saw the Congress party doing what it does best, shielding Rahul Gandhi. And the statements that came out were, this lack of trust is not for Rahul Gandhi, but the state leadership and the party. We see a similar approach in these elections as well.
Well, I think, Navika, you just need to rewind back to the election results day of UP in 2012, if my memory serves me correctly. Mr. Rahul Gandhi came out, took it squarely on the chin, said that, look, I led the campaign. If there has been a defeat, I accept responsibility for that. So therefore, let's, dehorse the noise for a moment and look at the person himself. He came out, without mincing any words, said, look, yes, I led the campaign, I take the responsibility. Even the other day, when we had this unfortunate situation in these 4 states, both the Honorable Congress President and Mr. Rahul Gandhi, they stepped up to the plate and said that, yes, the results have been disappointing, the verdict is against us and we need to introspect. So therefore, there is no question of shirking responsibility at all under any circumstances. You see, when you lead, right, obviously, if there is a victory, the victory gets credited to your account. If there is a defeat, you take responsibility, and Mr. Rahul Gandhi has been man enough to do it, on more than one occasion.
Also, the question is that Rahul Gandhi, when he made that statement just a few days ago after the results of the state assembly elections, he said that he's going to make changes in the party like never before. You can't even imagine. He's been playing this outsider card within the party for far too long.
Well, I think, you need to sort of understand this in a perspective, especially the position that he comes from. He has a particular view, which of course he's articulated, he's implemented in the case of the mass organizations of the Congress party, to try and open the doors of the party to younger people, to do things differently, to democratize the party. So therefore,
but there's still sons and daughters of Congress leaders who are making it to the Youth Congress. That's the way many within the Congress look at this entire phenomenon of change that Rahul Gandhi is trying to bring. Since 2007, nothing seems to have changed on the ground.
Well, they're sons and daughters of BJP leaders who are members of parliament. So therefore, the fact is that in a certain...
The BJP will pay for its problems when it comes to it, but the Congress is already paying.
But in a certain circumstance, if you look at it, if suppose somebody belongs to a political family, or his father's been a minister, or mother's been a minister, or a member of parliament, and he's worked his way through the ranks, do you think it would not be inappropriate or perhaps even a crime to hold his parentage against him if the person has worked? If the person has not worked, I can understand, if he's got it on a silver platter. But if he's worked his way through the party, then obviously I think he needs to be treated on par with everybody else.
Rahul Gandhi says he has a lot to learn from the Aam Aadmi Party. Now, the Aam Aadmi Party has virtually practiced what Rahul set out to do within his own party. They've really opened up the process of democratization of a political party by getting all and sundry to come and join on a common platform. Do you think the Congress somewhere is now psyched by the Aam Aadmi Party and the success that it's...
Well, first of all, I think Mr. Gandhi's statement underscores the intrinsic humility in his personality. To stand up and say that, look, we need to learn, and we need to learn from somebody who's just made their debut in politics. It calls for a lot of internal conviction and humility to be able to do that.
But you do admit that it is shifting to personalities.
I do admit that to a very substantial extent. In addition to issues, personalities, because given the nature of the medium, whereby the personality is omnipotent or omnipresent, and an issue is omniscient or is abstract. So therefore, I think given the dynamics of the entire political discourse have been changed by technology, we need to sort of be cognizant.
So now that personalities are important, will that candidate be projected in advance, and will it be Rahul Gandhi who will take the mantle on fair and square this time around?
Well, in 2009 also we had projected a candidate in advance, because a manifesto is released before an election really starts playing itself out, and Dr. Manmohan Singh was projected as our Prime Minister. And you are absolutely correct, there is a large body of opinion within the Congress party which feels that Mr. Rahul Gandhi should take the bull by the horns and should lead the Congress into battle. But essentially, as I earlier said, this is a call which the Honorable Congress President, in consultation with the other senior leadership of the party, needs to take.
After the rout of the Congress in the recent elections, there is a sense of underconfidence amongst Congress leaders preparing for Lok Sabha elections. And I wanted to get a sense from Manish Tiwari, who has faced defeat in Lok Sabha polls of 2004 before he won the 2009 elections, how he was looking at the 2014 elections. Manish, the question is that you've just had, on the eve of the 2014 elections, a bitter loss in 4 state elections. You are an MP from Ludhiana. How do you feel personally as a contestant of the 2014 elections? Are you nervous about the elections, given that there seems to be, at least many analysts calling it a wave against the Congress?
Well, Navika, if the party does decide to field me in 2014, the fact is that I fought an election in 2004 which I narrowly lost. In 2009 when we fought, it was right after 26/11. It was after a defeat in 2 states. Yes, we did win Delhi and Rajasthan, which has not gone to our kitty. So therefore you take every election as it comes. And my own experience of elections is that every election is intrinsically local. So therefore you have this discourse, which goes on subliminally in the background. But when you are out campaigning, actually what you are dealing with is really micro-level issues.
Of course, are loath to admit Modi's success, but you just said that personalities are counting in these elections, however difficult it is for you to admit. So personality quotient can only come from Narendra Modi in these elections.
Well, personality quotient, comes from different situations, Navika. As I pointed out to you in the late 80s, the personality quotient at that point in time, to some extent, had come from Mr. Vishwanath Pratap Singh.
So you'll admit that it's Narendra Modi now?
And the government lasted barely 10 months.
That's not the point. The point is, do you admit that?
At this point in time, the personality quotient, given the very structured nature of, or the very unstructured and the very fragmented nature of our polity, is coming from different people.
You're saying it in other words, you're saying there's a personality quotient, but you're not admitting it's Narendra Modi.
Well, in the sense, at this point in time, if you look at it in a state election context, I do not think that there is a personality quotient for the person that you are attributing it to.
So Manish Tiwari will admit that it is a personality quotient that has been playing in these elections, but the credit will not go to Narendra Modi. That is something Manish Tiwari will stop short of saying. We enjoyed having him on Realpolitik. Next week, yet another political personality to break down politics for us on the Realpolitik.